Welcome, viewers. This is Wadidja. This is What Did You Say? What did you do? What did you think? And bringing you another commentary today on Marvel's Spider-Man by Insomniac Games. And this one here is about farming 200 levels of XP, superior level XP at 25,000 points a pop, and what all that feels like, and you know, just a rehash real quick about, you know, any tips or strategies and advice about the whole scenario, and you know, regarding, you know, leveling up and, you know, gaining XP, as well as, you know, the melee feel of things. But yeah, while I'm explaining things, I'll go ahead and just do a quick little farm here at the usual spot, and I'll probably be closing out with a Sable farm, because they're the toughest enemy in the game. And for me, you know, leveling up Spider-Man in a superior level was really to gain the benefits of the you know, the melee damage that you have, because you gain 1% for each level that you increase in melee damage. And you know, I'm at the Fisk Hideout in Greenwich, and you know, as far as, you know, farming it quickly, you know, this particular place, you know, the Spider Bro is your better bet, so you can diversify your tactics along with, well, diversify your attacks along with the Spider Drone. And you know, as far as the other suit mods, of course, the XP, you know, enhancement of the combat analyzer is important. Increase the rate focus generates is another good one, so you can do finishers to replace your gadgets, and gadget attacks generate focus, and again, that's going to give you the focus you need to get to generate more gadgets as well. And of course, like I said, you know, if you don't have everything leveled up, then, you know, use what you can. You know, it's still going to give you the 2,500 XP guarantee, as well as the if you don't use the XP boost, I think it's like 300 and some change as far as XP that you get just defeating the enemies, and with the XP boost you get an additional, like, I think it's like 400 and some change, almost 500 XP. Every little bit counts, in my opinion. But yeah, you know, having this 400 health and 200% more well, melee damage rather, you know, it is a good thing. I'll be honest with you, it's a little discouraging the way they kind of do the XP, because you don't know where you're starting from and what really is being computed in the mix of everything, in regard to, like, you know, how much damage this enemy takes versus that enemy takes, because, you know, it's different amongst the factions, based on, you know, whether they have body armor or not, and also too whether they have I don't know, it's a better way to look at it. Not just body armor, but ballistic armor. Like, Fisk guys here have body armor on.
Let's see what I can do to cut down the supply.
You know, as far as ballistics are concerned, like, you know, your bulletproof vests and what have you. And of course, you know, it takes a little bit more damage to take them out, versus like your prisoners, for example, who don't wear body armor. Well, there's a few that actually do, and I think they're the ones that, like, carry, like, missile launchers or something like that. And of course, the shielded enemies are a little bit tougher, just in general. And like the baton wielding dudes are a little bit more difficult as well, in my opinion. But yeah, and then of course you got the Sable enemies, which have armor on, not just ballistics but impact as well. So, and there's some kind of like perhaps a generator in regard to it, because you know, you've got to break down that armor first before you can start to web them up. I believe the what is this here? The concussive blast is a good way to go ahead and wear out their disable their armor so you can web them up.
Anyone want to surrender?
But yeah, I'm actually kind of talking and not really focusing on doing this as proficiently as I can. I'll do one more just to show you the proficiency of it a little bit better than what this is doing here. But yeah, back to the point though, like I said, the Sable enemies are really difficult to deal with. I mean, I did like a little test the other day just to sort of compare, you know, the two, and you know, I could probably throw one of those into, but the point being is that, you know, 200 level health, 50 plus as far as your leveling in the game, your basic leveling. You know, you're hitting the Sable enemies anywhere from 10 to 12 times or more, depending on, you know, your tactic of the situation. And that's just to me a bit much. I like efficiency, you know, and also too I like to kind of play more old school with Spidey without the use of a lot of gadgets, if any. And depending on your, you know, the way you would go in with your attacks with the melee, and you know, use of objects and things like that, as well as, you know, your velocity of attack, you know. So you know, like these distance shots here, even if they weren't in a state of being unaware of you, you're still going to do more damage. You know, or throwing an enemy from a high distance into the ground with your webbing, those things will do more damage, of course. Yeah, so, you know, with 400 health, as I'll demonstrate in a little bit after I finish this here, you know, it seems to be that you're hitting Sable enemies about, you know, 5 to 7 times sometimes, depending on what's going on. But you know, we'll see in a bit, because I haven't really fought against the Sable with this 400 level. I did like a little fight against them. Well, no, I did actually, because
looks like they called their buddies.
Well, it was like $3.99. I did a little test one of the previous videos just to see what we were at. But yeah, I'm still not focusing here. But yeah, as far as, like, you know, other factors on the combat end of things, like I said, you know, and also too doing more damage if you're behind an enemy versus in front of them. You know, those factors can play in as far as how many times you hit an enemy. Also too, their state of awareness has different aspects of damage. Like if an enemy gets in a hit, it almost seems like you have to hit them at least one more time or so than normal. You know, as well as their state of awareness will determine how much damage you wind up doing to them. But yeah, my other videos definitely, there's far more proficient examples of me leveling here, because I'm actually jibber jabbering, but you know, the pattern that you want to take is you know, until you get used to the point, you know, you want to release your drones, you know, one or all of them, depending on how you want to pace the situation, and do, you know, a finisher if you have the ability in the skill tree, which allows you to do a second finisher. I'm trying to remember which one that is. Yeah, this one here gives you, when you do finishers, you tend to get bonus focus. So like this perfect dodge finisher gives you bonus focus. There is a, where is that? Yeah, here it is. Oh, then yank. find it. I'm trying to remember where it is. Either way, though, you get to do a second. Yeah, here it is. Immediately perform a second finisher on basic enemies. So when you're able to open this up, after your second finisher, you want to go ahead and release another drone. If you don't have this yet, then release a drone after your first finisher. But and when you get used to that, you can actually release a drone in between each finisher. Actually, if you time it right, you have a second or two before your second finisher once that opens up for you. In which case you can release a drone and draw yourself to the attack and get a finisher before it ends with the proper timing. I have some examples in my previous farming videos of that as well. But yeah, you kind of got to see a little example of him taking damage as well as dealing out a little bit of melee damage while I was jibber jabbering and not doing the most proficient aspect of the farming. But what I'm gonna do here is switch over to one of the other ways I like to farm, and that's just really more my melee centric build of things. And what I'm gonna do is get rid of the focus bar as soon as I gain it, and with finishers, just so you can see the melee aspect more directly. And sometimes I've done examples in my past farming videos where I don't have any mods in as well, and I'll probably throw in another one like that. Well, actually, let's go ahead and just do that after this. So yeah, I'll show you real quick here my little melee farm build. You can do that with extra health. You can also do it with the web striker if you want to add in some gadgets which can decrease the amount of time. I have other examples of that in my other farming videos too. And like if you want to do more of a natural kick, the impact web I don't think seems to take away from that kick, from that idea. If you want to go more old school Spidey rather than using some of these other gadgets, which are also very cool too. But yeah, but for this here, I really just want to focus more so on the melee aspect of things. So without a lot of enhancement, like I said, that the focus is fine. That'll just help wrap it up. You don't need a whole lot of examples of how much damage he's going to kick out. You'll see, just as is. So you can also, like I said, you can put in health, and that way you can, if you get hit, you're not using as much focus to heal. Also, too, like if you just want to use a melee build thing, the this full charge capacitor is a good one to go with too if you want to enhance your melee aspect. But here, like I said, I just want to demonstrate the natural aspect of the melee more so than enhancing it with focus as well as with these things, because when you get your focus bar up to full charge, you actually deal more damage and move more quickly. Unfortunately, I don't know whether or not having more focus bars full actually gives you more damage on top of your initial focus bar, or if you actually gain a little bit more damage and speed with the other two focus bars you gain when you level. I really wish I had more information about that. I get the impression that you do, but I don't think you do. Yeah, I think the extra focus bars just give you, more time to use focus, or more time to use finishers, or more room to heal, because you can heal with focus as well. But yeah, just to also to highlight how he receives damage at 400 health and can heal from it. I'll leave the extra healing mod off, and just leave these on just to expedite the situation a little bit more quickly. And like I said, I'm not going to really use gadgets for this here, just because I'm going to focus on the melee aspect of things. So yeah. And another thing too with this particular mission, actually with all the missions, because I've done some of them, you're likely to possibly run in a situation where the queue is not visible if you, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why it's happening, but it seems to be happening after update 1.06. You just need to go ahead and hit reload last checkpoint, and generally it'll pop back up for you if it happens to be missing. As well as on this particular one, in Fisk Hideout in Greenwich, some rounds an enemy can get stuck in the floor below where you are, and if that happens, just again hit reload last checkpoint. But instead of starting back over in a mission, you'll just pick back up at wave 4 and you can finish it out from there. But yeah, so you know, we'll see a little bit more directly about the melee aspect of things here, and you know, we'll go ahead and go over to the Sable. Well, I think I'll just take an extra moment and actually pull up the other game save that I recorded with, where, you know, my Spider-Man is still at just level 200. Like I said, I'm getting rid of the focus here so that, you know, you can see more directly how many hits it takes to get to the center of the Tootsie Roll Pop, so to speak. I'm not sure what he just got hit by, but it took off some serious damage there.
Uh-oh, more of them.
But yeah, as you can see, even with an extra 200% more melee above what you get at 50 plus and 200 health, he's still hitting them a few times. Of course, far more efficiently than not, as you know, I will demonstrate in a minute here after I finish this.
He's mine. Dang, looks like they called their buddies. Clear.
Focusing on the combat here.
Oh, hey, more guys. Welcome to the party. House rules. Leave your shoes at the door. Unless you're not wearing socks, in which case, buy some socks already. I regret that. Got something for you. Spread out. Kick his ass.
But yeah, as you can see, when you take damage at this level of health, it's not any different than when you take damage at any other point in time, whether you just started the game out or leveled up. Your health pool is the only thing that increases. Your durability against hits does not. You know. But yeah, it's interesting. The last commentary I gave in regard to the melee feel of things, I was kind of, you know, talking with a little bit of skepticism as far as just how worth it really is in regard to leveling it up. And, you know, like I said, to each their own. For me, it's worth it in the fact that, you know, I kind of get to live out a childhood little fantasy. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a super Spider-Man, so, you know, here you get to be a superior Spider-Man, and that's coming right in line with my point. And plus, too, I like to be efficient in taking out the enemies. I don't like to spend a lot of time beating on them if I don't have to, and, you know, definitely each 1% you get does add up eventually, but it doesn't feel
Place is
like you
locked down,
get much
Captain.
of anything until you
Actually,
get to
webbed
about
down.
100%.
And
You
someone
kind of
finally
get a
reported
taste of what
shots
it's going
fired,
to
so
be
I've got
like at
officers
50.
inbound. Good work.
And of course, as you go up each 50% more, you know, things are better, of course, as far as how much damage you deal. But it's I'm not sure how it's computed. It seems very minuscule in the manner that it seems to add it all together. Seems a little off, or just don't really understand how it translates. Bottom line, at least I don't. And like, you know, I'm sitting here at 200% extra health, and to be honest with you, I feel like I could probably have some more. I mean, it's 200% extra melee, excuse me, and I feel like I could actually have some more, which is I feel almost kind of odd or a bit ridiculous considering how much effort and time it's taken just to get here. But you know, I'm in it for more than just that. But it's, you know, I'll be honest with you, I was a little discouraged dealing with the Sable folks. I mean, but you know, they've got some kind of different armor going on. But let me go ahead and save this real quick, and then I'm gonna switch over to the other save and show you that 200% doing the same thing I just finished doing here. Let's see here. Okay, I just saved it. But yeah, just for posterity's sake, you know, like I said, it having the two comparisons in the video is good. I did one like this before in some of the other videos, but just at this level of things, I think it might be a good idea. But yeah, like I said, I'll do the same thing as I did before, and just won't go straight melee or, you know, no mods whatsoever to give any focus, because it does drag out the match a little bit longer, of course, when you can't instantly take out enemies or diversify your attacks with the drones. And I kind of want to make this a little shorter or sweeter than some of the other ones. So like I said, I don't want to repeat myself too much. But yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, you know, despite more health, you're still going to take the same damage. You just have a little bit more room to play with. Despite the extra melee, you're still going to be beating on them, and you can string together your combos if you know you want to make sure you see that dynamic. You know, because you can chain your attacks between the enemies, even if, you know, you're only taking them out in a few hits. Now, if you wind up doing an initial attack that sort of finishes the enemy, it seems like they want to give you a pause or something like that to give you more dynamic to the situation. But you know, you can generally just pick back up. So yeah, this is the gameplay or the set game save I use to do all my recordings with. But my main, you know, my first playthrough was on that previous account, and that's where my mainstay of leveling is at. But yeah, this here Spider-Man here, I think I have, he's like 5 levels above max 50 plus, which gives you 200 health. So I think he has 205 health, and you know, which just gives him an extra 5% melee, which you know really isn't a big deal in the course of things. Let's see here. So we're going to add the rate focus generates with the kinetic power cells, and we'll take off the healing thing. All right. So yeah, and I mean, you know, when it comes to doing finishers and things like that, no matter how powerful you get, that's still going to always one-shot the enemies. You know, if not, and you know, your uppercuts will always seem to do the same. Put it like this: all of your attacks seem to do the same generate the same reaction of damage. You know, like, so that's how far your uppercut's always going to be. You know, regardless of how powerful you get, or whether you've got focus in on the situation or not, or any of the kinetic stuff, or, you know, like the full charge capacitors, for example. So yeah, it's not a whole lot different. Like I said, which is a bit discouraging considering the amount of time it takes to actually get yourself, you know, past one level of 2,500 points. I mean, 25,000 points. Excuse me. There we go. And I mean, even with this farming method, where, you know, yeah, depending on how proficient you are, you can get through this without a doubt in less than 2 minutes. But you know, it's still, like I said, because you don't have anything to help you translate the aspect of where you start at and where you're going, more so than just the feel of things. It can leave you feeling like, you know, like I said, asking the question, is it worth it? And so you've got to really ask yourself, you know, do you want to give the time to it like that for that particular reason? Now, it'll happen passively, of course, just continuing to play the game beyond max level. And, you know, you'll have to ask yourself those questions based off of what you want to get out of the situation, what kind of Spider-Man you want to be, and how you want to see him play out. You know, it's like they called their buddies. You know, if he gets hit, you want to see him half dead, or, you know, if he's laying in an attack, is he doing 12 hits or 5 hits? You know, so or less. But yeah, for me, you know, it was worth it at the end of the day. But again, I can't deny the fact that I felt a little discouraged when, you know, looking at just how much of a difference, you know, the 1% that you get added on makes once you get to 100, 150, 200% of where I'm at now above normal. And I mean, as you can see with the way that I'm, you know, hitting the enemies and how many times it takes to hit them, it's not that many times less. I think I'm hitting them about two more times more so than normal, or than I was with the other one. And again, you know, what's really going to take them out, you know, most efficiently is going to be your gadgets, and you know, using, you know, environmental aspects like, you know, to throw and hit them. You know, as well as, you know, any type of stealth situation that comes about. But yeah,
anyone want to surrender?
but again, for me, I really wanted to live out my aspect of the Super Spider-Man. And it's coming there, that's for sure. But yeah, it's unfortunate that it seems like, you know, it's going to be near the end of the month, more so, or more closer to when the DLC for is released, that we're going to get the ultimate difficulty of the new game plus. So, you know, I'm going to continue to try to perfect, or rather just become, you know, far more situationally aware of what you can and can't do given certain situations with just your basic melee capabilities, and the context in which, you know, well, if I'm in the air or on the ground behind the enemy, to decide what that square button's going to do.
Actually, web down.
As best I can given the context of the situation, because, you know, there's a lot of finesse that you can blend in with you know, your Spider-Man, you know, because, you know, in the middle of any combination of attacks, you know, you can put in your triangle to throw them, or draw yourself to another enemy, or pull them to you, or throw them down. You can also throw in the circle to dodge at any time, or your X to kick off of them, or web zip yourself somewhere. I'm going to actually start this and then back out because, like I said, for some odd reason, if for me, I've noticed with this, you lose the cue for that. If you just quit, just continue past it and go off and do something else or fast travel. Well, actually, it's really if you fast travel or save and then quit out the game for some odd reason, I've noticed at times it wants to not have the queue. So what I'm going to do is just hit abandon mission now, and that always seems to guarantee that queue to begin that is there if you fast travel or if you restart the game. But yeah, let me go ahead and save and then switch back over to the my primary save here with my level 400. But yeah, so you can see that it's not a whole lot of difference, but there is one for sure. It's just a matter whether it's worth it to you or not. Give me one moment here. And but yeah, when we switch back over here, I'm going to pop over to the Sable Outpost in the park, and just give a melee demonstration there of the of how many times it takes to get to there to knock them out. It's an interesting melee scenario you have to go through with them because of their armor. It takes a beating to get through to them. But again, I find it a good challenge because it tests you to improve your tactics, your basic tactics, and without all the gadgets, and efficiently trying to take them out. I still haven't gotten everything down pat yet, but I'm getting there. I think I'm enjoying it. But yeah, I've been focusing more on the speed runs of things, so I'm not. I haven't had a lot of time to really practice the way I'd like to, but I'm gonna definitely focus on that because I'm quite happy with where I am in the grind of things, or the farming of things, where you just speed run it as best you can and trying to keep it entertaining as best you can. Like for me, I found it good to throw in some suit ideas, give a couple theme videos, and maybe even try out a few combinations of things here and there, but primarily sticking with the most efficient way to farm it, because it's time consuming, and there's just to cover the base, yeah, there's videos out there where people try to cheat the system a little bit by rolling around or whatever, and getting your rolls on or whatever, yeah, sure, you're going to generate some XP, but there's no way you're going to get any good XP anytime soon. I think I saw a video out there with somebody advertising points saying they make about 300 a minute or something, but I personally think I'm kind of old school. I don't mind putting in the time for it, and that's the better way to go about it. Keep the skills up and enjoy the gameplay, and you make far more XP far faster farming out the Fisk hideout in Greenwich. These other places like this Sable Outpost here, they do offer good XP for the enemies that you take out, but the amount of time that you have to take to do so, you're not proficient at it, nowhere near as proficient at making XP as you are at Fisk hideout in Greenwich. But yeah, I'll just highlight real quick the what I'm doing here with this build here. So yeah, I'm going to leave in the focus generators to gather focus more quickly, so I can just thin the herd a little bit, because it like I said, I think I did a little test video or before 400 where it was probably took me about 9 minutes or so, 10 minutes to get through it with just a melee type of a build, and I even tested it on the 200 side of things, and it took probably another almost 3 minutes longer to get through it. Again, we're going to try not to use any gadgets, maybe a little bit of a web shooter here and there, but most likely not. And again, it's going to be more melee focused with by getting rid of, by not using anything extra as far as mods and getting rid of the focus that generates. And again, we're going to leave these focus generators in to just thin the herd a little more quickly. But yeah, I'll probably not talk too much during this, just so I can focus on the situation. Because Sable, you know, they can be a handful. You know, they've got the most varied tactics, and you know, all the enemies in the game are uncompromising in the manner that they're trying to literally kill Spider-Man. They're not trying to hurt him. They're not trying to just, you know, put him in the hospital and maim him or something. They're trying to take his head clean off his shoulders. They're trying to knock his spine through his chest. I mean, it's all that, man. You know, so you know, Sable's no different, of course, than the other faction. But yeah, it's just going to quickly try to dispatch some of these folks here until they get the note that I'm here.
You're in timeout.
But yeah, nothing too I can comment on as far as tips or advice. If you decide to use equips, as far as the suit power, take care with how you time using it, because there seems to be a game pause where he wants to stop and point his finger, and you know, sometimes it get, you know, it almost interrupts your flow of attack, basically. So and can leave you vulnerable. So just make sure you time when you decide to activate your suit power a little bit better than not. But yeah, because like, for example, this battle focus here, when it activates, it kind of actually pushes the enemies back in a way. You know what? He's generating focus almost too quickly here. Let me actually take out this, because I can't even see, I can't seem to get enough punches off to take an enemy out fully where he seems to generate focus. But yeah, let me try to in real life focus here so that I'm not looking too silly getting hit all the time. I don't mind taking a little bit of damage to give an illustration of what it's like to take damage at this level of health, as well as recover health. Wow. It's interesting too, the feedback you get from the controller when you're hitting these enemies. I mean, versus enemies that don't have this type of body armor on. I mean, I remember one time I was farming and hadn't messed with Sable in a minute, and it was interesting. I thought something was wrong with my controller because of the feedback you get is so minimal. From hitting them, it's not funny. But yeah, you can see how, like with Fisk folks, you know, I was taking them out in like, you know, 2-3 hits or whatever, but it's taking at least 4 or 5 hits, I think. I'm running my mouth and trying not to too silly taking a hit all the time here. So let me focus here. So I'm not sure how many times that was, because he got shot first. And I had focus with that one. Let me get rid of this focus. Where's, oh, is this dude in the thing? Uh-oh. How can we get him out of there? Restart. Oh, That worked. He popped out. Okay.
You guys are persistent. What kind of pay
never
you
seen
get?
that before.
Asking for a friend.
Spider-Man, I did some research.
Yeah, and the missiles and any type of thing that's coming at you.
Tactics.
Hold on, let me
Gotcha.
finish talking.
I'm lodging a protest myself right now. I'll
Yeah,
let
any
you know how it
missiles
goes.
or that are coming at you where you get that, you want to actually move at the last second when it flashes red. If you try to dodge that any sooner, you're going to get hit by it in the time where there's a rebound time or a reaction time, in which case he makes his move and can make another move. And yeah, whatever is going on will hit you. Or somebody else will hit you if you try to dodge too soon with the off the situation. What's this?
Grenade out.
Okay.
Take cover.
I was like, what kind of you, buddy? Oh, he's out. Where's everybody at? Whoa.
Hey, you do this for money, right? Well, how much to lay off? And don't say more than 20.
So yeah, he's definitely taking them out far faster than not. You know, because you can play one of my previous videos where I've highlighted the point, and also too you can take note just simply by what I went through with against Fisk boys versus these folks. But yeah, he has without all this extra 200% melee, he's hitting them at least 10 to 12 times, if not more. And like I said, like this guy here is taking a lot more damage because he hit me. And I told you, man, it's like for some odd reason it takes more hits to take out an enemy if they've hit you.
Ever feel like your helmets make this impersonal? I mean,
And to me, it's almost I can translate it as if to say, oh, okay, their adrenaline's pumped or something. So, you know, that's the logic, at least that I've given it, to kind of make more sense of the situation that I've picked up on. But yeah, airborne dudes for sure. I have no compromise to want to use finishers against them. They're a pain in the ass.
Engaging target.
But yeah, see how, you know, if they're stunned as well, you know, you're going to do more damage against them. That length of attack did more damage against that enemy. So as you see, it only took 4 hits to take them out. But yeah, what's up with these dudes getting stuck in stuff?
Stop resisting.
Why don't you come out? Where is he now? Okay. Well, I guess I've never encountered these situations where they're getting stuck and stuff like this. That like I said, with the Fisk situation, I've seen it where they get stuck below. But yeah, I've never seen it on this type of a situation. But definitely, yeah, your battle focus is good, not just for generating focus in general, but you know, whenever you want to heal, or you say you don't have focus to heal, you can just pop your battle focus, and
Seriously?
you know, your focus bars
How else
level
did you
up
think
and
that
you've
would
got
end?
health. But yeah, so there you go. That's what, you know, the damage is like with an extra 200% melee damage against Sable. And I like I said, I definitely feel that it's worth it. because they're a handful if you want to go with the whole melee build of things, or just even when gadgets fail you or you're in between trying to get them going, do you really want to start hitting on one dude 12
the
times?
area's secure and the cells are all empty.
Officially, I can't condone that. Unofficially, thanks.
So there you have it. That's what the melee's looking like with the toughest enemy in the game at the moment, besides the first battle against Fisk. And let me tell you, to me, I almost feel like that there's no other battle in the game as difficult. I mean, because you start out with less health, as well as the fact that Fisk is hits you like a train, literal train, and his boys seem to be doing like a little bit more damage than your typical brute in the game. They like 4 hits from them will kill you. It's on superior level anyway. But yeah, like I said, I'm just loading that so I don't have the issue with the queue on that particular thing. But yeah, hopefully, the video's informative and for what it's like, and hopefully encouraging to a degree if that's where you want to go. Like I said, I'm just being honest and don't want to like give a false impression of the situation. And I mean, of course, proof is in the pudding by what you just saw as far as the demonstrations are concerned. But yeah, I mean, I definitely, like I said, I'm going to be continuing on and focusing on my late melee build of things. And like I said, it's nice when you can do the extra damage when you got full focus bars and your increased damage with your health here. But I like gauging the melee naturally, but for the sake of just not gauging the melee naturally and working on my combative techniques of things, I debating as to whether or not to put these things in or not. I mean, because I ultimately like using the web shooters, and I like using the impact web, and I find it very advantageous if I'm doing that to use your web striker as well with your kinetic power cells. But at the same time, it's, you got to realize that, and as well as myself, that whenever you use your web shooters, your web-based attacks, you still generate focus. You're just not generating 2 times as much, and you still generate focus too when you take out enemies instantly or hit them with the impact web. And if you're going to be more melee focused rather than web shooting, I would recommend the full charge capacitors in that case. But I don't know if I'll ever have enough melee at the moment to feel like I could give up my full charge capacitor. Matter of fact, let me show you what I'm talking about before I close out here. Let me show you what I'm talking about, because this is with 400 health plus the full charge capacitors. You're gonna like this, because you get definitely do way more damage, definitely move faster, and like I said, with me liking that, I think to probably be the way I may wind up going, unless, like I said, I maybe get to a point where I've got maybe 600 health maybe on the superior level. But like I said, I'm not going to continue to play this on the superior level. I'm doing all this in anticipation for the ultimate level of difficulty that's coming out. That's where I'm where I'm really putting in the time, so I'm not I'm at least somewhat coming close to playing the Spider-Man I like to play when I do my initial playthrough on the ultimate level. And then I'm gonna do another playthrough, recorded.
Someone needs a nap.
Not the same way I did my previous one on a superior level. This time I'm just gonna play through the way I would normally like to play through, and break it up in comfortable segments of just normal gameplay.
You're done.
Hopefully when they come out with the ultimate level and this new game plus, they'll provide other missions for us that will continue to generate, you know, this guaranteed 2,500 XP, along with
You're just not very observant.
SM1, engage.
you know, the XP you get from defeating the enemies. Yeah, so, you know, I've got the full charge capacitors in, got the focus. Also, too, like if I'm using focus with my attacks, I just go ahead and activate my battle focus sooner than later, because you know, I'm not going to be using the focus if I can help it, unless I need that particular counter at that time, because you can use the finisher as a counter attack, so to speak. It's if you're caught in a situation where you don't think that you're going to be able to dodge far enough out the way, or you're a little bit late, in which case, however far you dodge out the way, you're not going to be dodging far enough. Or, you know, there's multiple hits coming in such a way where, you know, you don't want to take that kind of damage. But yeah, as you can see, he is definitely hitting them at least 1 to 2 times less with the full charge capacitors, as well as you know, your full focus bars. Again, it seems like to me you actually do a little bit more damage or move a little bit faster when you've got all 3 bars. But I could be wrong on that. It just might need the 1, and that's enough. And again, the other ones are just an aspect of you know, comfort towards having more focus. You know, you can take an extra hit or 2 without losing all of your focus, but if you take a big enough hit, you know, your Spider-Man is going to lose all focus altogether, as you saw a little earlier. I think however he got hit, it ripped through all of his focus bars. And I don't know, I kind of had the impression that the focus bars also too help mitigate some of the damage that you might have coming in, but I don't think that it does. I think just, you know, their aspect of a challenge for you to you know, improve your skill set is to, good gosh, like I said, it still takes a ridiculous amount of damage sometimes with some of these, some of them. And like I said, it's varying reasons from case to case as to why. You know, they're a different state of alert. They might have got a hit in against you, whatever. But you know, you're sitting there going, man, full charge capacitors, full focus bars, you know, 200% extra melee, and he's still duking it out. Yep. So yeah, you don't have to worry about losing your dynamic of your combos and all that other kind of good stuff. Because yeah, anytime soon,
I did some research. All the people they're holding
I can't even imagine
Sable's
that another
Gotcha.
200% will have me one-hitting these
I'll
dudes.
let you know how
Now,
it goes.
probably at about, you know, 500, you know, and definitely at 600, I'm sure that super armored guys like this, or ballistic armored guys like, you know, Fisk folks, or, you know, some of the prisoners, you know, I'm sure that I'll probably take a non-armored guys out in 1 hit, and those guys out probably in 2 hits, depending on what's up. I mean, that's just the way the game seems to scale the damage. It's interesting, very interesting. Like I said, it leaves you wondering a whole lot of things that you don't have answers for. Now, why am I having to hit him so many times? I have no idea. I guess it's, you know, like I said, I want to work on my melee capabilities to see if, you know, other types of hits per se, if I can figure out other ways of going about things, can do more damage on just a sole melee kick, like that little kick that I added in to kick him off. Like, I really don't know how much damage that in and of itself actually does if I'm not able to follow up with another hit afterwards. Like, you know, hit him and then draw myself into him like this, or grab him and throw him or whatever. So, you know, like I said, there's a lot of little subtleties I'm looking forward to trying to work with. Whoa. And, you know, there's some other moves that I don't really use that often, simply because of seeming to be luxury to doing something else that a little faster. Like, for example, you know, you can launch off the wall with attacks, and that seems to do a fair bit of damage. But again, it's you know, seeing the opportunity and making sure you can execute the point without, you know, getting messed up.
Great! Reinforcements! You guys ever feel like your helmets make this impersonal? I mean, hot kettle, I know!
And then also, too, remembering that there's nothing else that's ever going to work, regardless of how much melee you have, that will ever get through to shielded enemies or baton wielding any enemy that's able to block your attacks in any kind of way. There's no amount of melee you'll ever have, I don't think, that will get past that. I think there's a person who put out a video that hacked the game, and they have something like some ridiculous like 40 some odd thousand health, which is 40,000 some odd %% extra melee or something retarded. But yeah, they hacked the game to do all that, and they did a demonstration of it at, you know, Fisk's Hideout, and of course he was one hitting enemies, but it's like, let me see that at you know, Sable, just for shits and giggles, to know whether or not even at that melee strength you can still one hit these shielded enemies. I would think you could, but I don't know. I know it's going to take well more than probably 600, maybe 1,000
That took longer
on a spectacular level. You might be able to one hit these Sable enemies. I doubt it, even at 1,000. And of course that ain't even gonna come close to happening, I'm sure, on the ultimate level. But, you know, like I said, I feel better and more confident with the point that I'm at with my Spider-Man, to try to start really just focusing solely on
Captain,
just improving
the
my
area is
melee
secure
tactics
and the cells are all empty.
and strategies
Officially,
with the
I can't
different
condone that.
groups of enemies
Unofficially, thanks.
that we have currently. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, again, this has been informative, and thank you for tuning in to view the situation and listen to what I have to say. And again, I hope it helps. I know it'll be good for me to look back on through the years and re-listen and know what all I went through for the situation of this.
Hey, what's up?
I think this is the first time I've seen baby carriages. Wow. Okay, how about that? No, don't see the baby. Don't hear the baby.
Nice to see you.
Oh, no, you do. You hear the baby. Wow, that's so cool. Learning new things every day. Well, Spidey friends, thanks again, and I'll catch you next time. Enjoy.